This is terrible. I can't find my bus at all. I ran up and down these stairs, and I've gone to like every terminal. I can't find anything that even looks like my bus at all. Where is it? This is rough. I keep seeing the same numbers, but never my number, 950. What the hell? I keep seeing 170. So this video is some tips about if you're taking the bus from Singapore into Malaysia. And I found that the way that I did it was a little bit more difficult than the way that you should probably do it. And well, this is how I did it. So I arrived in Singapore because it was a little bit cheaper to fly there instead of into Kuala Lumpur. And I decided to go through Johor Bahru, which is where most people cross into Malaysia. That's like a big checkpoint that most people go through because it's right in the center of the country, I would say, and so most of the traffic is kind of going that way. Just to let you know, it's really busy all the time, especially on weekends. You're going to have loads of crowds, and it might take you a pretty long time to get through the border because a lot of people work in Malaysia or work in Singapore and live in Malaysia, and so almost every day there's like a commute going through the border, which is normal for a lot of countries, I would say. But the way that I did it, and it wasn't so bad, but it just kind of depends how many bags you have. So from Singapore, there's two different options of taking public transportation to get to the border. There's the regular city bus, which you'll have to take. I took 3 buses. I took the city bus. I followed some local Malay people that were working at the airport, and so I figured that was a good way to go because I just followed them and they were going to the same place as me, and so that made it kind of easy. I kind of had a guide take me from the airport. You just follow the signs to the city bus, and I don't remember the number of the first bus, but there's only like 3 buses that were running. And the first place you got to get to is called the Woodlands. It's like the Woodlands Terminal or Woodlands, I don't know what it's called, bus terminal or something like that. So if you want to look on the sign, you can, but you'll easily find someone speaking English, and you can just tell them that you're trying to get to Johor to enter Malaysia through the border, and they'll tell you which bus to take. So that's pretty easy. So my experience was I took 1 bus, and I had a couple big bags, so it was kind of a hassle because the buses are crowded, and you gotta pay with exact change. And so this is something I super recommend, is get a lot of coins right when you can, because sorry I got interrupted there, but so you definitely need to get coins when you do currency exchange. I mean, if you use an ATM, you're not going to get coins, so find a way to get coins, and I'm talking small coins like the 20-cent coins. Maybe you don't need the 10-cent coins, but you need 20-cent coins because the bus is very specific. They don't give change, so if you are expecting to take the city bus, you're going to need some coin, and there's no way around that. So get 20-cent coins, and I think the first bus I took was $2.50, the second one was $2.50, but I didn't have $2.50, and I only paid $2.30, and the guy was okay with that, I guess. And the last bus I took was $1.60, and so it was kind of hard to pay because I had 2 big bags, and I'm trying to like count my change, and there's a lot of people on the bus, and it was really stressful. So you are going to take 3 buses, at least that's what I did, to get there. But there's a second option that I would probably recommend for easeability and less stress, and if you have, you know, more than 1 backpack, this is probably the best option. There's an express bus from Singapore Airport that will take you to the border checkpoint. It might even take you to another bus terminal in Malaysia. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't take that one, but the name of the terminal is JB Larkin, or just Larkin Terminal, and that's right over the border. That's where everybody takes a bus to Kuala Lumpur or to Malacca or to Penang or wherever you are going. You need to get to that terminal right inside Johor in Malaysia. So that option, I believe, is, I think, 10 Singapore dollars is what I was quoted in the airport to take this express bus. And the way that I did it, taking 3 buses, it cost me, what would that be, about less than 7 Singapore dollars, so 6 to 7, something like that. And you know, for $3, I definitely recommend taking 1 bus all the way, because having to transfer, moving your luggage and all that, you know, three bucks is definitely not worth it, I would say. So I experienced it for you. You know, it's a sweaty, hot mess trying to transfer these buses, bringing all your bags, having to pay with all the exact change. Just pay an extra $3. And the reason I didn't do that is because the bus wasn't leaving for another hour and a half, and I decided, nah, I'll just take the city bus because it's leaving, you know, in a few minutes and it's cheaper, so why not? But I would wait around if I were you. So, alright, the process. So the process of going through the border is, I don't know, it's a little bit weird compared to some other ways that I've gone through borders before at land checkpoints. So the way it's going to work, your bus is going to come up to the border, exiting Singapore, and there's going to be a big line of buses, a big line of cars, and everyone's just going to get off the bus, and you're going to take an escalator up, just follow everybody, and then you're going to enter into like the queue for the immigration and customs, whatever area for exiting Singapore. So just get in the line that says all passports, get in that line, wait, go through. Shouldn't be very hard, just exiting a country, you don't have to really do too much. And then after you get your stamp out, you're going to follow the rest of the people. You're going to go through like a turnstile kind of area, and you're going to go back down to where the buses are, and you're going to get on the bus again. It could be the same bus that you were on, or it could be a different bus. If you're taking the city bus, you want to keep your little ticket, a tiny little ticket they give you with the bus number on it, so just look for that same bus number. It may not be the exact same bus because maybe you missed that one, but you know, they'll keep coming through. And if you're on the express bus, I don't know if it'll wait for you or if there's another express bus that's coming every hour or how that works. I'm not really sure, but just get on the same bus. It'll drive like 3 more minutes. You'll get off it again, do the same thing, follow everybody up an escalator or up some stairs, and then you're going to go through, you know, the queue to enter into Malaysia. And that one's a little bit more, you know, picky. They're going to ask you some questions. They're going to ask you, you know, how long you're staying there, where you're going next, you know, what's your reason for traveling there, just basic immigration type of questions. And one thing they do require is proof of onward travel, and I find that that's one difficult thing about backpacking in my experience into some countries I've been, is having that proof, because sometimes you don't know how long you want to stay in a country or where you're going to go next or when you're going to go there, and you don't really think about it. But getting stuck without proof of onward travel is going to screw you, because you're not going to find Wi-Fi at the border checkpoint. You're not going to be able to buy a ticket last minute and show them and prove to them that you're going to be leaving the country. So make sure you have a screenshot on your phone of a ticket of you leaving the country at some point. And it could be even a flight leaving another country within, you know, your visa stay, I guess. That would probably work. Like if it was a flight back to your home country within the next few months, then they might even accept that as, okay, this person's leaving because they already have a ticket going back to USA or back to Germany or wherever you're from. And so you just need to have some type of airline ticket or maybe even a bus ticket to show them. That is important. I know at the airlines, they won't even let you board the plane unless you show them that you have that you have proof of onward travel and ongoing travel. So be prepared for that, because that's definitely one thing that could really screw you if you're not prepared. And besides that, you know, Malaysian people are pretty friendly. I just told them where I was going. I was going to Brunei. You can get tickets for really inexpensive. I paid $30 for a flight to Brunei, just one way. And, you know, I haven't figured out, you know, when I'm going to go back yet, but as long as I have the ticket to leave Malaysia, they'll let me into Malaysia. So just make sure you have that. And after you get that stamp, entering Malaysia, you're going to go back down some stairs or maybe an escalator, depending on if it's working. Then you're going to look for your same bus again, either the same number on your little ticket or the express bus. Hopefully it's still there waiting. The problem that I had is I was taking a bus that ended at the border. It didn't continue to the next bus terminal, the JB Larkin Terminal, where most of the buses are going. I think the express bus probably goes there, and bus 170 and 160 I think both go there. My bus was 950, and it stopped at the border, which I thought was really weird that a bus would stop there. So I looked for like 30 minutes trying to find this bus, and it didn't exist because they changed the number, or it just like turns around and goes back to Singapore, I guess. So I guess that bus isn't allowed to enter the country or something. I don't know. But that screwed me over a little bit. So just find, the same bus that you got on. Maybe it's a different driver, but if it's the same number or the same company, just get on that bus. It'll take you to JB Larkin, also known as the Larkin Terminal, which is, I think, 10 kilometers more from the border. Since I got left at the border, I ended up having to walk on the highway for a couple kilometers, and got to like a gas station and just started asking people questions about like, what I should do, like how I should get to this terminal, and one Malaysian guy offered to give me a ride, so that was really lucky. If that happens to you, maybe try the same thing. You could pay for a taxi. I don't know how much it'll cost, but it's not terribly far. It's 10 kilometers or 15 or something like that, I think, to get there. So yeah, what else do I have to say? Yeah, that should be it. When you get to the JB Larkin Terminal, you'll have all the choices of buses to go all over the country. You go to Malacca, to Kuala Lumpur, to Penang, to Ipoh. If you want to go to the east side, whatever, all the buses are at that terminal, so that's where you need to get. And that terminal's pretty nice. They've got restaurants and stuff there. They have, they don't have a currency exchange, but people will exchange currency for you just randomly. If you ask people, like, you'll find someone. So if you do need Malaysian currency right when you enter and you can't find an ATM that looks trustworthy, or you didn't see an exchange, then just ask people and they might do it for you. I wouldn't be too surprised. Just ask around, because there's probably a currency exchange close by, but in the terminal, maybe it's open at a certain time. Maybe it was just closed when I was there. Not sure. But there's options, and I think there's an ATM there, but it was a little bit sketchy. But yeah, so the price that I paid, I went to Malacca, which is about 2.5-hour bus ride. It cost 21 Malaysian ringgits, which is approximately $5-ish US. So I find that price really fair. If you're going to Kuala Lumpur, I think it's double the distance, so maybe around 40, 45 ringgit I would estimate is the cost. This is 2018, and this is what I paid. I was here 3 years before, and I think the price was the same from what I remember, because I did almost the same journey from Singapore to Malacca, and I think it was about 20, 21 ringgit at the time also. And when you're looking at the buses, there's just one like information place where they sell all the bus tickets for all the bus lines and the different companies, so just go there, and there's a little screen that you can look at, and it'll show you the price of each bus company, and what time they're leaving, so you can like go there and just see what time is next, or the next day, or whatever you want to do, and the price will be there. They pretty much all were the same price. There was one that was way cheaper. It was like 15 ringgit or something, and I don't know why it was cheaper, but probably not a good idea to choose that one. I don't know why, but it says the number of seats on the bus, so pay attention to that also. Like the bus that I chose, I think had 20 or 25 seats for the bus, and the one that was cheap had 40 seats for a bus. So you're gonna have a lot less comfort in that 2 to 4 hour or more trip if you don't save that $2 for that cramped seat. You're already spending a few hours on the bus, so try to find 20-ish seat bus company, I'd say, for a little bit of comfort. And they always say on the buses that there's free Wi-Fi, and there never is. Like, I have been in so many countries, all through Latin America, all across Europe, and it's pretty rare to have Wi-Fi on the bus. They always say there's Wi-Fi, but for some reason there's never Wi-Fi. I don't know what that's about, but the one bus I took was KKKL, and it was great. It was a nice ride, comfortable seats, they reclined. There's not anywhere to like charge your phone or anything. It's just a simple bus. There's no bathroom on the bus. Don't expect that. Don't drink too much water while you're on the bus, or else you will have to pee. It gets really cold on the bus. Air conditioning is really high, so have a light sweater or something, or a jacket to put on mid-trip, because I definitely needed it. I put on some pants, and I wanted to put on socks, but I didn't have any. I put them in the under storage. But the bus ride was smooth, just a little bit cold, and bring something to read or whatever. There's no Wi-Fi, so bring something to read, or just look out at the highway. And yeah, so I think that pretty much covers all the questions people may have about traveling between Singapore and Malaysia by bus. If you got any other questions about that, feel free to leave a comment and I will respond as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and keep traveling, guys.